Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
Edwin Encarnacion tweaked his ankle Friday night in Detroit, missed the last 2 games, not in the lineup once again here in Chicago, but could be back in the lineup tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jason Kitten is dealing with a neck issue. He is also not in the lineup, could be available in an emergency situation. Eric Gonzalez, pictured right there, gets the start in his place, and Gonzalez has done a tremendous job filling in at various points this season. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning here in Chicago as the Indians take on the White Sox. People have been waiting all season long for the Indians to get going, to catch fire. Maybe it's just in small increments, but over the last week, they're starting to flex their muscle a little bit. They've built the biggest lead of any team in baseball now.
It doesn't surprise me because they usually start playing better once June hits. And offensively, over the last 5 games, they've done a nice job outscoring their opposition 21-10. And you know what? Key hits. Everybody's starting to, do their job. They're moving the line. They're taking the walks. They're doing the little things they have to do. And then you go to the pitching. Now, the starting pitching has been outstanding. They're 4-0, 172. So this is only one turn through the lineup, but we know what can happen with this starting rotation. They can start feeding off each other, and there's no telling how good they can be. And when you get good pitching, good hitting, the defense just falls into place. And they've been playing very good. 1 error in their last 181 chances. So when you start mixing everything together like that, you're going to put wins together, and hopefully they can continue to do that because they're playing in their own division.
Yeah, and the bullpen has been a little bit better as well, so it is all starting to fall into place for the Indians. We'll see how they do here tonight in the series opener. It's a 4-gamer between the Indians and the White Sox. We've got more injury news still to come. Al and Jensen are up next in the studio. We'll be back with the play-by-play shortly.
Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud.
It's been cloudy, foggy, gray, but dry, and that's all that matters as we get ready for game time here between the Indians and the White Sox. Tribe swept a 3-game series from Chicago back in Cleveland. They have won 9 of their last 10 games going back to last year against the White Sox, including the last 4 in a row here on the South Side. Before the teams take the field, let's go downstairs to Andre Nye.
Thank you very much, Matt. When you look at the Chicago White Sox, a lot of different names as they're going through a rebuild. But the number 3 hitter, Jose Abreu, we know very well. He's a guy in the middle of the lineup that usually hits around 330 home runs and 100 RBI. And for Mike Clevenger, who will start the 4th game of this series on Thursday afternoon, I sat down with him today to talk about how you attack one of the better hitters in the American League and our Hear Right sounds of the game.
I mean, you got to go in with a good plan against him, and the initial plan you go in with, you can't just stick with because he's a good hitter. He's gonna make adjustments, and I mean, he's got really good power at opposite field, but he's also, you know, he can step in that bucket and pull it over left field wall. So I think anybody that has power to from flagpole to flagpole is pretty dangerous in this game.
When you talk about keeping a hitter off balance, what's the main thing that you have to do to keep a guy off balance?
A lot of tunneling, like whether it's fastball up, follow that plane to a slider away, whatever the case may be, depending on the hitter, whether it's lefty, you're going fastball up, change up away, heaters down, change ups off that, down out the zone to get a chase. Just trying to get that same tunnel, get it off the same path.
Rick, it's much like when you play the Detroit Tigers, you keep the guys off that are in front of Miguel Cabrera, and you got a better chance.
It certainly helps, and he's had his share of great games against the Indians, and he'll get his chance to pitch against him on Thursday, as Andre said. Let's take a look at today's starting pitcher. He will be the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the White Sox. Lucas Giolito will make the start. He's 4-6. That ERA is still up over 7. What the Indians are going to have to do, make him get in the strike zone. He has 39 walks in his 61 innings, and his ERA is a 10.41 in the first 2 innings of the game. So you got to try and jump him early if you can.
All right, for the Indians, the starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Terry Francona has Greg Allen in the leadoff spot. That man, Michael Brantley, is in left field batting second. Jose Ramirez leads the league in extra base hits, batting third. Francisco Lindor in the cleanup spot. Then Yonder Alonso, followed by Melky Cabrera, who will DH. Lonnie Chisenhall batting 7th. He's the right fielder. Yan Gomes catches, bats 8th. Eric Gonzalez in for Jason Kipnis at second base, will bat 9th.
And the defense for the White Sox, they are rated 14th in the league. They have made 46 errors. It'll be Tilson in left, Engel in center, Polka over in right. From third to first, it'll be Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, Abreu. Smith is behind the plate.
Paul Nart calls the balls and strikes. Tom Woodring is at first base. Scott Barry at second. Carlos Torres down at third. The Indians ride in here tonight 34-29 on the year. They've won 10 out of 14. They have a 5-game lead in the Central Division. And the 5 games above 500 equals their high water mark for the season. Chicago, well, they've won 6 out of 10.
Yeah, they've been playing better.
Coming off a good series in which they played well at Fenway against the Red Sox. Lucas Giolito winds it up. And we're underway. Pitches outside for ball 1.
Yeah, their bullpen has been pitching very well, and their starters have a nice ERA in the mid-2s over the last 7 games or so.
Strike at the bottom of the zone, evens the count of 1-1.
These two teams will play 7 out of the next 10 games against each other. We'll have 4 here, and they'll come back. They have Detroit coming in here after us, and then they'll come to Cleveland and come right back home.
Greg Allen pops the pitch into left field. Charlie Tilson will make the catch, 1 down. Storylines tonight are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Over the last 2 seasons, Carlos Carrasco has dominated the Chicago White Sox. A 3-0 record and a 123 earned run average. And as Rick told you, Lucas Giolito for Chicago has walked a ton of batters. 3rd most in the league, but more walks than strikeouts. Kind of an alarming stat for a starting pitcher.
Yes, it is. It's a rarity.
Our game time temperature tonight, 64 degrees. You can't even call this cloudy. This is just murky.
Yeah, it was a miserable day here for June, to be honest with you.
Kind of like if you're on the West Coast, they talk about the June gloom along the coast. Very similar to that. Michael Brantley looks at a pitch low and just off the outside corner. Brantley, the 6th best batting average in the American League coming into tonight, hitting .319. In the 3-game series in Cleveland, he was 5 of 11 against Chicago with a home run and 5 runs scored. Pops this one straight up on the infield. The shortstop, Tim Anderson, makes the catch. And really, that was the story in that series. It was the Indians' top hitters. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 spots in the order. They were on base all day long in those 3 games. Here is Jose Ramirez. 39 extra base hits. That includes the 19 home runs, which are second only to J.D. Martinez in the American League.
How about he started Jose off with a changeup?
Turn that fastball loose, but it's up and away. And a count 1-1.
He's coming off a win against the Minnesota Twins in his last start. Nice breaking ball.
Fouls that back. That pitch was up out of the strike zone, but Ramirez thought it was too close to take.
You know, you look at the this is Giolito's 13th start, but in his 12 starts, he's never pitched more than 6 innings, and you probably figure because of so many walks and pitches that he pitches himself out of a ball game earlier.
In the dirt, 2-2. Grounded to first base. Abreu struggled with it momentarily, but he beats Ramirez to the bag, and the Indians go 1-2-3. The White Sox will face Carlos Carrasco when we come back.
Indians, the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. He earned a win against the Brewers in his last outing, allowed 1 run, 8 hits over 7 innings of work, walked 1 and struck out 10. He'll be making his first start this year against the White Sox. 3-0 last year, and the last time he pitched in this ballpark, he had a complete game, giving up just 1 run.
White Sox starting lineup for manager Rick Renneria. Yoan Moncada leads it off. Yomer Sanchez hits second. Then it's Jose Abreu, followed by Daniel Palka, Matt Davidson, and Kevin Smith. Tim Anderson, Charlie Tilson, and Adam Engel rounded out. Moncada in his last 17 games hitting a .183. Switch hitter. Swing and a miss. This is a Chicago team that over its last 9 games is averaging just 3 runs a ball game. As a team batting .215 in those past 9 games. Oh, and Carlos Carrasco strikes out Moncada on 3 pitches to start the night.
Well, I'll tell you what, look at the 3 pitches. He didn't mess around. Looks like he's got a little extra zip. And you'll see the sequence.
One down for Yomer Sanchez. One thing you don't want to do when this guy's at the plate is let him hit one in the gap, because he can fly. He has 7 triples to lead the majors. I should say to lead the American League. I'm not sure if he has the Major League lead. Let's see, in the National League, yeah, he does. He leads the majors with triples.
He has 7,
yeah.
And he had 8 all of last year, which is 8. That's a heck of a number for a year, 8. But I mean, he's sitting in here early June, and he's already with 7.
And this really isn't what you would consider a triples
by no means. By no means, this is not. Now, if he was in Detroit, I would say yes. Ouch.
He swung though.
No.
Oh, they said he didn't swing.
No, he asked for help.
Boy, it sure looked like he went around, but he's going to reach first now on the hit by pitch.
Well, he did ask the third base umpire, and then Carlos Torres said no, he did not. Let's see. No, it got him on the back foot. Okay, that's a good call.
Close, but he didn't quite follow through on that swing. Not that you have to follow all the way through, but like he kept it back enough. 1 on 1 out. Jose Abreu, the batter. Abreu is second in the American League with 25 doubles. And a good fastball in there for strike 1. He has collected a hit in 9 of his last 10 games.
He had 43 doubles last year, on pace as of right now to have 64. The way he's going, he's had a heck of a month of May.
There's a look at the Abreu season. Second in the majors in doubles. 346 when he gets a man in a scoring position. And look at that number. Wow, when he's got
Over
2 out in the
clutch.
clutch.
That's unbelievable. That's why you want to keep guys off in front of him right there. That reason. We just showed you the numbers.
Pitch is outside. The Indians held Abreu to an 0 for 10 series back in Cleveland. He only reached base 1 time. That was a walk in game 3 of the series. And he struck out 5 of the 10 times that he was at the plate. So they definitely
held him in check.
Held him in check and
yes, they
pitched
did.
tough. But for the most part, they limited the traffic. There wasn't many opportunities for him to do damage with men on base. That's always the key. Swing, and did he get a piece of it? Yes, he did. Gomes not able to hang on, so he stays alive.
There's that little changeup going down. Boy, good movement, but he was just able to get just a little piece of that one.
Sanchez held by Alonso at first. It's a Sox team that will run. They lead the majors with 53 stolen bases.
Yeah, it's part of their game. They have to continue to run. Sanchez has stolen 5 out of 7. Moncada 7 out of 8, but they were able to get him out early. And then Anderson's the other culprit with 13 out of 14.
2-2. Wow. Gomes had no chance. He tried to block it, but that hit about 3-4 feet out in front of home plate.
Yeah, but with spin on it. That thing hit, and it almost looked like it just ricocheted to the left. Watch this ball, and then the spin, and Gomes did whatever he could. That caught his shin guard and kicked off. That's Carrasco's first wild pitch this year, and that certainly was a wild one. So
not surprising, though, when you got a hitter like Abreu as a pitcher, I can see where you really want to make sure you don't hang it, and sometimes you end up overthrowing it.
Get it down there.
So runner at scoring position with 1 out. And a 3-2 pitch to Abreu. Out of play. We just showed you the numbers for Abreu with runners in scoring position.
Well, right there, when you're falling off, if you can fall off a fastball like that, you can see he's trying to shoot it the other way. That's to stay on the breaking ball. You know, you foul off a couple of tough fastballs till you get a pitch to your liking, but he's trying to take him the other way, and that's what he does when you get runners in scoring position. That's why he hits so well with it. See, he jammed himself.
Sure did. Greg Allen makes the catch, 2 down.
Let's check the Indians defense for you, brought to you by Chrysler. It'll be Brantley, Allen, and Chisenhall in the outfield. It'll be Ramirez and Lindor on the left side of the infield. Gonzalez, Alonso is on the right, and Gomes behind home plate.
Almost wonder, Arch, you said, you know, he kind of jammed himself on that swing. Did Carrasco mean to throw that pitch where he did, or was it one of those backup sliders?
It might have been the backup slider. I don't know if he was trying to throw that breaking ball in. You know, when you throw a breaking ball, you just try and get it out front so you get the best break to it. You know, I really don't think you try and throw it inside or outside. That's why when a catcher gives a breaking ball, they never give you location. They just say throw the breaking ball. Yeah, that one stayed inside. He didn't want it in there, but he got him to swing at it. It was a little bit in off the plate.
Daniel Palka. This guy impressed me in Cleveland. He had a double and a home run in one of the 3 games.
Yeah, he had some sock in that bat, no doubt.
Runner goes for third. Gomes throw. Not in time. Yolmer Sanchez is at third base now with 2 down.
The ball was in the dirt too. He picked the right one to go on. He had to block it. It bounces up. Gomes did everything in his power. He made it a lot closer than what it should have been. But he picked the right pitch to take off on. Now, the only way you go in that situation, you better make it. You're in scoring position. I mean, it's the first inning. You got to give this guy an opportunity to drive you home, but you can't say anything now because he made it. But I don't think it's a heads-up base running play, to be honest with you.
The official score ruled that a wild pitch. I'm not sure. It was hard to. I couldn't tell exactly if Sanchez was going on the pitch or if he waited until it went in the dirt.
I didn't see it. Oh, okay. I thought he was off and running on that pitch. He was not. Okay.
He was kind of shuffling, and then he just took off as soon as he saw it.
Okay, the second wild pitch then.
Popped back out of play.
That makes sense.
Just kind of watch him, you know, the shuffle.
Yeah, shuffle.
Oh, no, he was going.
Exactly right. That's what I thought.
Now the official score changed it back, so it is a stolen base.
I thought I saw him running.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
I did too, and then I thought, well, maybe he wasn't going until he saw the ball in the dirt, and that's why he ruled it a wild pitch.
That's why I can't be an official scorer. I don't have the whiteout.
He ruled it WW. Wasn't watching.
Yeah, right.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Carrasco gets the strikeout. He fans 2 in the inning. And the White Sox strand a runner at third base. No score after 1 in Chicago.
With MLB.tv. Watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for the details.
Francisco Lindor will lead off the second inning for Cleveland. Showing bunt, watches it go to the backstop. Lindor is 5th in the American League with 48 runs scored, and he's 7th with 76 hits.
Yeah, just got his 10th 3-hit game yesterday in the number 4 hole. Once again today. And they say Edwin will probably be ready to go tomorrow, right?
That's the hope, yes. Big chopper by the third baseman to Anderson, the shortstop. 1 down. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Over the last 19 games, the Indians have won 15 matchups head-to-head against Chicago, primarily because they've outscored them by better than a 2-1 margin.
Yeah, that's... And look at the starters ERA. My goodness. You can see why they've won that many.
Yonder Alonso. He went 6 for 11 in the 3 games against Chicago back in Cleveland. Ground ball up the gut, but with the shift on, Tim Anderson is there to stop it, throw him out, 2 down. This has not been the Lucas Giolito that the White Sox have seen so often this year, where he just can't get out of his own way early in a game.
Well, he's a young kid. He's 23 years old. He's 6'6", 245 pounds, a big kid, good arm. Just a matter of he's going to have to learn and fight his way through it.
In his start against the Indians in Cleveland, he gave up 4 straight hits in the first inning with 1 out. They plated 2 runs. He gave up a home run in the 3rd, and then they knocked him out after he gave up 2 more runs in the 5th inning. Another home run involved in that. So,
yeah, they acquired him from the Washington Nationals, and Adam Eaton was the guy they gave up for him. Was the main guy, so he's going to get his chance to pitch.
Melky Cabrera had only 1 hit against his old club in the series in Cleveland, but he did manage to drive in 4 runs. That's kind of been his MO so far in an Indians uniform. He's Mr. Sack Fly. How about that? He just drew a 4-pitch walk. And the Indians have their first base runner with 2 down in the 2nd.
Yeah, he comes right out and breezes through the first 5 hitters, and all of a sudden, boom, 4-pitch walk. Hard to figure out.
Lonnie Chisenhall. He's played 5 games since being activated from the disabled list with that calf injury. And in those 5 games, he's collected 6 hits, including a double, and he's driven in a couple of runs. As fate would have it, Brandon Geyer, who's trying to make his way back from the disabled list, got, of course, hit by a pitch. And so he's being reevaluated. The 1-0. And that's up and away, and that's going to send the catcher, Kevin Smith, out to the mound after he's missed now on 6 straight pitches. And we'll go down to Andre, where there's a lot of injury news to sort out, isn't there?
All kinds, but you talked about Brandon Geyer. Not only was he was hit on that wrist that was surgically repaired. So they're looking at it. They're going to hope it's all right, and they're going to hold off till Thursday when the lefties are going to start for the White Sox to make a decision on what's best with him. You guys have mentioned Edwin should be back in the lineup tomorrow. He went through batting practice today, ran a little bit before the game. Kipnis, they hope the same thing with him. They hope both are available later on in the game. He came out and threw as he's dealing with that sore neck. But there's a lot of moving pieces right now as to who will and will not go on the DL tomorrow, because you're going to have to move someone, because also you have the catching situation right now with Roberto Perez.
Yeah, let's get to that in a moment here. First pitch, or the next pitch after the meeting to Chisenhall's a strike. This was earlier today. Roberto Perez trying to throw. What's the latest on his status?
Well, this is the first time he's tried to throw since he got hit yesterday. Basically, he was told if he can't catch tomorrow, he's going to go on the DL. If he can, then he'll be the backup catcher, and Francisco Mejia will go back to Columbus.
Lonnie shoots one foul down the left side. Well, if that video was any indicator, he looked like he was throwing pretty easy and pain-free.
I can tell you, he feels much better than he did yesterday. We turned green and purple early on and swole up on him. But today he was happy he could grab a baseball, and as we saw in that video, he can throw it as well.
It doesn't look like he wants to go on the DL. I can tell you that. I don't blame him.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Lonnie pops it up. Left center field. Long run in for Charlie Tilson, but he's there. Makes the catch. No runs, no hits, a man left. Middle of the 2nd, no score. Matt Davidson will lead off for Chicago. He was on the DL the last time these two teams met in Cleveland. Power bat, though. He's hit 11 home runs. 10 of the 11 have come on the road this year, including 7 at Kansas City's Kauffman Stadium.
I thought you were going to tell me 10 of the 11 were for against Kansas City.
Seems like it.
I know 7 of them, though.
He had 3 in one game, and then he had back-to-back games where he hit 2 and 2.
That's unbelievable, and that's not a home run hitter's park. Yeah, he got off to a great start this year.
Swing and a miss. Overall, in his last 6 games, just 2 for 20 at the plate. I remember in spring training, it might have been last year, and I don't know if it was a game we were televising or just a game we were watching. He's one of those guys, he can make the park look small, especially out in Arizona,
he can.
where you might get a little more carry, but he could boom it. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Carlos Carrasco has struck out 3 of the first 5 hitters tonight. All right, let's finish up our injury report with the Elk and Elk injury report. And Roberto Perez, we talked about him. Francisco Mejia was called up from AAA Columbus just to, be here in case anything happens to Gomes. He's the emergency backup. Evan Marshall was sent to AAA Columbus. And as Andre reported, there'll have to be a move made tomorrow for Adam Pletko. So if Roberto's good to go, then Mejia goes back.
And if he, Mejia would play tonight if he had to go in case of an emergency.
Out of play to the right.
The other news that's kind of come out today is Andrew Miller. He threw another 30 pitches, 15, sat down, got up and threw another 15. He's going to do the same thing on Wednesday. When the team gets home Friday, they're going to try to get him back on a mound with hitters. Then from there, Arch, Matt, there could be a good chance that they could activate him or send him down on a rehab. I would think they're going to send him on a rehab after not sending him on one last one and running into the problems that they've run into.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they'll make sure he is ready the next time he gets comes off the DL.
Close pitch just missed outside to Kevin Smith.
And to what you're saying, Rick, I think that's what they're going about doing. I think that's why they had him up and down today. Remember, that was one of the issues they had when he came off the DL the last time.
Right.
They didn't want to put him in a game, sit him down, and come back out. They're trying to get past that now.
Out of play to the right.
I mean, we all know that when he comes back, you want him to stay there. You don't want to see another recurring issue, because you rushed him back this time. They did the first time. They don't want to do that again.
Well, as a couple pitchers from the bullpen have told me, when they have Andrew Miller and he's right, it changes who this team is.
Without a doubt. Sure. Without a doubt. There's no question about it.
Just missed low. The other thing too with Miller, and I know you didn't mean anything by the way you said it, but the connotation, people could misunderstand it. When you say they rushed him back, he wanted to get back too. I mean, it was he felt bad. He didn't want to leave the bullpen on alert, so he was chomping at the bit. And I think everybody now is taking a step back and saying, let's make sure that you're ready.
You're right.
Matt, you're absolutely right. He never tried to do anything to hurt the team. It wasn't all about Andrew Miller. It was fully to help the team. He didn't like the situation they were in. And Arch, you can speak to this better than we can. A guy that's been in the big leagues, if he feels like he can pitch or play, he'd rather do it here than go down to the minors and do it. But Andrew has said, after what happened, he will do whatever the team asks him to do so he can help this team as quickly as possible.
Yes, and I totally understand that. You want to get back out there as soon as possible. You don't want to go down on rehab. And he talked his way into not going.
2-2, a little tapper. Gomes tried to keep it fair. Couldn't do it.
We have, look at today, what do we have? 99 games left after today. Look at Gomes. Knock it out front. He tried.
Smith has done a nice job. He's 7 of 16 at the plate. mean, think about this. He already has 3 consecutive multi-hit games. That's tied for the longest streak of the year for the White Sox. Putting up a good at-bat here against Carrasco.
Yeah, it's not easy for right-handers to face Carlos.
And another foul back on a fastball at 94.
Righties this year are hitting better off Carlos than they have in the past. 263 on the season.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And he shoots it right back up the middle.
I'll tell you what, that's one heck of an at-bat. I can see why he's had 3 multi-hit games in a row. If that's any indication, he finally got the heater. He fouled one off the pitch before this, but he got one where it didn't run in enough. Took it right back up the middle, hits the mound, goes into center field for the Sox' first hit.
We talk about all the things that fall into place when a hitter's hot. And you'd have to say he's hot right now. And sometimes when you're hot, you get a pitch right down the middle on a 3-2 count instead of a nasty breaking ball or something that you just can't even hit.
Things go your way, but he did a nice job following off some good pitches to stay alive. Got one to his liking. His confidence is good. You can tell by the way he was taking them. He could see that he's seeing the ball very well.
Tim Anderson takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Anderson, like so many young players, seeking that elusive level of consistency. Up and down. Last 8 games, he has just 5 hits.
Very talented young man, though. He has power. He has good wheels. Stolen 13, 11 home runs. Good defender.
Carrasco falling behind 2-1. Is going to take a moment to gather himself, collect his thoughts. Oh, he took a wicked cut there, but following the off-speed pitch back, it's 2-2.
Gets away with a breaking ball here. Look where Gomes is sitting, and that was a spinner. It just he just came out of it a little bit at the plate.
You could almost see that front shoulder open up just a little bit for Anderson.
He sure did. That was a hanger.
Swung out and missed. Carlos Carrasco gets his 4th strikeout of the night. And there are 2 down in the inning.
Well, this is the opposite of the one that was before that. That's a dandy. Look at that one going straight down. The spin, the rotation on it, and by the time he swings, it's out below the zone. So he gets his 4th strikeout.
He goes from a hanger to what did you guys call that in your day? A yacker?
A yacker. Yeah, that's a nasty yacker.
Charlie Tilson, left fielder. In the 14 games he has started this year, he's collected 10 hits.
Plays with reckless abandon out there. Remember the series in Cleveland? He was all over the place in left field.
At times it's proved costly. Last year he missed almost the entire. He did. He missed the entire season. He had a stress fracture in his right foot. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2.
Remember in Carlos's last start against Milwaukee, he had the slider early, and then that changeup came later in the game, and he had a nasty changeup as he went on to strike out 10 Milwaukee hitters for his 2nd win against that ball club.
The year before last for Tilson, he had a torn hamstring that cost him the last month or two of the season.
Sometimes that's what costs players, you know, the playing time, man. Injuries. You get opportunities, you have to take advantage of them.
Yeah, it makes it tough to advance.
Yeah,
when you're on the DL.
You can't make the club in the tub, as they say. If you're hurt, yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Now the 2-2. And that's low. Full count. So far, only 2 balls have been put in play. Abreu, who flied to center in the first, and the base hit by Kevin Smith with 1 out here in the second. So for the defenders, a lot of standing around so far.
Well, yeah, they have it. And that base hit from Abreu, the fly ball, that was a 3-2 count. And the Smith base hit was a 3-2 count. But they are laying off some very good pitches Carrasco's throwing up there. So you give the hitters a little credit.
Runner goes, the 3-2, fouled out of play. Tell you one thing, they're driving up his pitch count. This will be number 46 already.
That's what I'm talking about. They're laying off. You know, he's throwing some pitches out of the zone that, you know, they don't have a chance to swing at, but he's also throwing some pretty good pitches that they're not swinging at. And that's what it takes. If you can foul off a couple of pitches and make that guy work, that's a goal in its own right, is to get that pitcher out of the game if you can.
Runner off. 3-2, slowly tapped to second base. Gonzalez going to have a tough play. Can't get it. And the inning continues.
Well, couldn't get anything on the throw because he had a long way to come, and he wasn't able to get to second base because even though it's Smith the catcher, he was off and running. So he couldn't step on second. It gets over his head. And then you're going to see Tilson get over there, and he just couldn't get anything on the throw to get him. And very awkward. With body going one way, you got to throw across your body. Just couldn't get it over there. So the inning continues with an infield hit.
The number 9 hitter in the order for Chicago is Adam Engel. He's missed the last 4 games with a strain of the right hamstring. There's some question whether or not that was going to be a DL situation, but he's back in the lineup here tonight.
And this is how this guy makes his living, is with his wheels. You know, being the center fielder, he's hitting 9th. He's stolen 8 out of 10 bases.
The 1-0. Takes a breaking ball for a strike to even the count of 1-1. The 1-1. Out of play. And this will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Carrasco coming up here. Not saying that he can't lock it into place, but that's what was so impressive with Corey Kluber yesterday, is the efficiency with which he pitched throughout that game, enabling him to get beat.
And you're saying this is pitch number 30. He's had 9 foul balls that the hitters have fouled off on him.
Struck him out looking. So Carrasco strikes out 3 in the second, and the White Sox strand a pair. Span 5 and 2 innings of scoreless work.
in Progressive Field for the weekend. The first time this season, you can grab a $15 district ticket presented by Sports Time, or a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket, online only. Visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Third inning here in Chicago, no score. Yan Gomes will lead it off. Then it's Eric Gonzalez and Greg Allen. Lucas Giolito has walked one. Does not have a strikeout, but boy, you talk about efficiency. He's at the other end of the spectrum so far compared to Carlos Carrasco. Gomes has hit in 6 straight. Fouls it back. Went fishing, came up empty, and it's 1-2. Struck him out with some high heat. First K for Giolito. All right, I haven't seen this yet, but I hear it is amazing now. Yesterday in Oakland, Chad Pinder at the plate, fouls one off. Check out the guy in the seats, makes a catch.
Play.
The very next pitch, same guy, same result.
He made 2 catches. That's unbelievable.
What are the odds? The odds have to be astronomical.
Yeah, probably you've got a better chance of winning the lottery.
2 pitches consecutively hit to the exact same seat.
And he made a catch on both of them. That's it.
You're more impressed by the fact that he caught them both.
Yes, I am. And they were not easy catches.
Sign that man up.
That's right under where we sit, you know, when we're in Oakland, right under the press box where he was there.
Give the batter credit, Joe says.
He had nothing to do with it. He just fouled it off.
Not hitting fungos.
Yeah, right. He's not trying.
The 1-1. All the way to the backstop. Eric Gonzalez in his last 23 games has batted .409.
Had a nice afternoon yesterday. A couple of doubles, 3 RBIs. Really smoked the ball to center field to clear the bases. And they were loaded. Really opened up the ball game.
Low and away, 3-1. Now remember, he got off to a rough start. I think he was 0 for his first 6 at the plate. But
That's
since
not
then,
a rough start when you. But I know what you're saying.
because he didn't play a lot.
Right.
You know what I
He's
mean?
not an everydayer.
Yeah, you're right. That's not a rough start. He draws a walk, and the Indians have their second base runner, both coming via the walk. So first time through the order, the Indians are 0 for 7, 2 walks against Giolito. We'll see what, if any, adjustments they make second time around now. Sanchez in on the grass at third, just trying to take away the idea of a bunt hit, but Allen's not really, it's not really part of his game yet. You would think that at some point that's something that he could possibly develop and incorporate it into his game.
You certainly would hope so. Hey, look, if you want to stay at the big leagues and you're not going to hit for power, you got to utilize your speed, your legs.
Speaking of which, Eric Gonzalez takes off, steals the base. Kevin Smith couldn't get the ball out of his glove.
Had a really nice jump, and that's all you have to do if you're Allen, is just take the pitch. I mean, go out there. He did the right thing. He just took off, head down. You know it's a straight steal. He didn't look back. But Greg just is going to put the bat out there and fake the bunt. And in the transfer, Smith dropped the ball.
contagious.
It is. We've seen that a lot.
Greg Allen swings through the fastball, and it's 1-1. Allen was really hot there for a while, but he's cooled off. 1 for his last 18 at the plate. Two and one.
Well, he's got to try to get a ball he can pull here in this situation. 2-1 count. You got to look for something to get the outside part of that ball and pull it over to the right side of the ground.
Again, fastball swings through it, and it's 2-2. If you're Giolito, might just stay right with it. Goes to the slow hook and misses, full count.
To me, that's not a very good pitch right there. After throwing a good fastball inside, why are you going to waste a pitch on a breaking ball like that he can't even swing at because it was too far inside? Now you want to, you pretty much have to throw him a strike. You have Brantley on deck.
Comes back with a fastball, and Allen lifts it to left harmlessly for Tilson. 2 down. And that'll bring up Michael Brantley.
Yeah, that's one thing. Greg Allen now 0 for 21 with runners in scoring position. So see if Michael can get a 2-out base hit and get him on the board.
Overall, Brantley a .298 hitter with runners in scoring position. Fouled off. Now the 0-1, and he pops him up. Tilson, and now it's Engel, the center fielder, who makes the catch. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Middle of the 3rd, no score.
home to Progressive Field. That'll be Friday night. The Indians will host the Minnesota Twins. Get to Friday's game early. Enjoy the pregame in the district. It's presented by Budweiser. 10,000 fans will also receive a plastic pint glass courtesy of Cisco. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
Bottom of the third inning, top of the order for Chicago. Yoan Moncada called out on strikes his first time up. Swing and a miss, strike one. When you faced a guy who's allowed 4 earned runs in the last 4 times he has started against you, from an offensive standpoint, if you're Chicago, is it give you more determination to go out there and get after this guy, or is it one of those games where mentally you may be beat before the game starts?
I don't think you're beat, but you know you're going to have your work cut out for you. You don't want to foul off any pitches that you get that are decent to hit. You know you're in for a tough night if he's on his game. So you just go up there and you try and work him, because every day is different. You know, he may not be the same every game. I don't think you ever come into a game where you really feel defeated.
Moncada is a strikeout victim for the second time tonight, and that's 6 Ks for Cookie Carrasco. Take a look at some of the offerings that the Indians right-hander has in super slow mode.
Well, we know he's got some of the best stuff in the league, without a doubt. There's a good fastball, and then that slider is second to none when it's good, when it goes straight down. Then he also has a curveball, and we know he loves his changeup because he will throw it a lot. It was a very big pitch for him in his last start, and you just see the movements going each and every which way. Well, this starting staff for the Indians, they're a tough team to handle. It doesn't matter which one you have on the mound when you throw them out there. They all seem to have something different. 28 starts this year of 7 or more innings. That's pretty impressive.
Yolmer Sanchez, a big chopper to second. Eric Gonzalez with the flip, 2 down. Let's see how he has spread it out, Rick, with regards to the fastball, breaking ball mix.
Well, there you see it. I mean, you'll see that 31. You're going to see a four-seamer, but he also throws that two-seamer. You just never know what's going to come.
And a lot of times it may depend on what he's feeling better about.
Yeah, you know, he may go to that slider more times than the changeup, or he could go to that changeup more times than the slider, because sometimes they're both not working.
There's a nice curveball in there for strike one to Abreu. And that's the pitch he got him out on in the first inning, in a pretty critical at bat there with a runner in scoring position, because this guy's been swinging the bat well.
Now this is how you want to face him. 2 outs and nobody on.
Bounce to third. Oh, what a backhanded pick by Ramirez.
Beautiful.
Holy smokes, what a play at the hot corner. The White Sox go 1, 2, 3. Take another look at the glove work by Ramirez. No score through 3 in Chi-Town. Look at this guy warming up in the White Sox bullpen.
I told you, he said.
That catcher needs to work on his receiving skills, though.
They already made an appointment for the hospital tomorrow to get an MRI on the shoulder. You know, these guys got to get loose before they start cranking it.
Jose Ramirez leads off the 4th inning. Thought this was interesting. Now, granted, we're only in early June, June 11th, but Jose Ramirez has more extra base hits than strikeouts.
That's very impressive.
And among the guys who qualify, you're basically talking about everyday players, not guys who play a couple of times a week. Jose Ramirez, Mookie Betts, Andrelton Simmons, Michael Brantley all can make that same claim.
Those are 4 very good hitters. Just look up at the you know, the lineups or the batting averages.
Over the course of an entire season, Ramirez did that last year. Michael Brantley's already done it twice in his career.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. 3-0 count.
You know, I was looking at Giolito pitch, and he might be tough to pick up. These guys haven't had really good swings off. I don't know if the ball gets on him a little bit more because he's a tall guy. It seems like he comes over the top, and he might be hard to pick up.
Well, so far tonight, he's been a much different pitcher than the guy who faced the Indians in Cleveland. Jose Ramirez with a full count here. He's taken his walks this year. 38 walks, 6th most in the league.
And he doesn't want to walk.
Oh.
He may now. Ouch.
If he can walk.
Yeah, that one right off the foot. I don't think that got protection. Nothing you can do. I don't think it hit the protective guard. No.
Instep.
Yes, it was right in the arch of the foot.
The foot in the shoe?
In the shoe. I don't know if did it get the shoe or the foot. I'm having a tough time figuring that one out.
Arch, you got the arch. White Sox 3-man shift right side of the infield. Jose Ramirez will get another 3-2 pitch to look at here. Right back up the middle, but Anderson ranging to his right. Throws it low, but Abreu digs it out. 1 down. Today we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game will raise money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $400,000 has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge. Go online to homerunchallenge.org. Indians, one of the best home run hitting teams in baseball. They've clobbered 93 home runs so far this year. Compared to a Chicago team that has struggled, they've hit only 68. And the White Sox have gone 5 straight games, their longest streak of the season, without a home run. Francisco Lindor lifts one foul and out of play to the left. Indians without a hit here going into the 4th inning. Top of the strike zone. Good fastball.
Yeah, it was inside. And this guy has struggled too in his home ballpark. He's pitched better on the road than he has at home, but I'll tell you what, he's dealing it tonight. He's 1-3 with a 1279 in this park.
Wow. You'd never know by the way he's thrown. That could have very easily been a strike.
You know, when he pitched against the Indians in Cleveland, he made some good pitches that weren't called early. There's his splits. So you can see he's pitched better on the road, but I'll tell you what, he's twirling a nice one right now. I know it's only the 4th inning, but he's only been a 6-inning guy.
Lindor out looking. Only the second strikeout for Giolito, but there are 2 down in the inning.
He came right down, right inside, and it locks up Frankie. That's really a good pitch. Plenty of plate, and that's why I say, man, they don't. I don't know if they're picking it up because it gets on them. They haven't had very good swings off of him. Nice. Started a guy out second time through with a nice little get-me-over curveball for a strike.
Well, you're right, though. I'm looking through my card. There hasn't really been any hard contact.
No, none at all. They haven't been able to center the baseball. It would be a little bit tougher for him because he's 6'6" to repeat that delivery consistently. Back in the second, he had a 2-out walk when he walked, Cabrera on 4 straight pitches. But boy, if he stays within himself. Here you come looking at the hitters. Watch him. He's a big guy, 6'6" now, and watch. You don't see the arm, you don't see the ball, and then all of a sudden, it's straight over the top, and here it comes. And it's not that he's overpowering, and he's not a strikeout guy, but they don't center it.
Down and in with that fastball, and he's been primarily a fastball pitcher today. He's moved it up and down, and he's
though, he's a 50-50 guy. He's got 27 balls, 30 strikes. So you can't sit on any one location on him, I don't think, consistently. Now that's like a wasted pitch. You let a curveball get away. So now it's a 3-2 count.
Yonder Alonso's been swinging the bat well last 17 games, hitting .328, 5 doubles, couple of homers. And he takes ball 4. So that's the 3rd walk issued, but it's the 2nd time he's issued a walk with 2 outs in an inning. And we'll go down to Andre Knott.
2 things that you guys have picked up on what the hitters have said after going up against him the first time through. Hard to pick up. You guys had great videos showing just hard to pick up the ball and where it's coming from. But Francisco Lindor said after his first at bat, a lot of movement late at the plate. He says it may not look like it, but there's movement. It's almost like it explodes late. It's not where you see it when you pick it up.
See, that's the tough thing to tell on TV, the movement of pitches sometimes. But in that batter's box, you can certainly tell.
Well, and as you said, it's why you're not seeing many guys center the ball. They may swing and start their swing thinking they've got a good look at it. Next thing you know, it's off the end or it's in the handle, and you're just not barreling.
But normally when these guys, this offense has been swinging it pretty good too. So when you get them, and I mean, even if they foul off pitches, they're hitting them hard foul or something like that, or taking a really good cut and fouling it straight back. They're not taking many good cuts tonight.
Melky Cabrera has a 2-0 count.
Milky, 6 pitches.
He hasn't seen a
6
strike
balls.
yet. Yeah.
That's right.
He's driven in 8 in his last 6 games. Pulls it foul.
I say you can't expect the milkman to deliver if you don't throw him a strike. Had some good years here in this ballpark and for this Chicago White Sox team.
Missed outside, 3-1. And now more balls than strikes thrown by Giolito, and yet he still is not allowed to hit. Upstairs, he's walked 2 in a row. And it brings up Lonnie Chisnall, second visit by catcher Kevin Smith.
Well, and you know what? I noticed that what this White Sox team does. They did it in Cleveland. Everybody comes in when the catcher comes out. And I don't know what it is, and it's something that they want these young guys to do. But it's just not the catcher going out there talking. It's the whole infield. The Indians, you can see 64 pitches on the evening, and they still don't have a hit. They're looking for their first one. What a time to get one now after he walked 2 guys with 2 outs. You know, giving you an opportunity. We'll see if Lonnie can come through.
Broke his bat. Blooped center field. Anderson won't get there, and neither will Engel. Scoring is Alonso. Melky Cabrera stopping at third. It's a 2-out RBI broken bat bloop single for Lonnie Chisenhall, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead.
How about that? I mean, didn't hit it hard, jammed him, just didn't get enough of it. Engel comes in on the dead sprint, and that got down on the trademark, makes a dive for it, and missed it by about a foot. But the guys are off and running, so the 2 walks, they hurt. And now comes the pitching coach out, Don Cooper, to have a talk. So that's already what, 3 mound visits?
I don't think we've been close to seeing that come into a factor in a game yet.
At one time, there was a team that had 1 left by the time it was all said and done. But you're right, it hasn't been.
I believe it was when we were at home against the White Sox when they went through 4 pitchers in 4. Remember?
Yeah,
that was the game.
Yeah, all right,
inning.
all right. There you go. That was it. Andre all over that.
I keep up with mound visits.
All right, so let's see if they can make it hurt some more. Jan Gomes struck out his only time up in the 3rd. Bats with runners at the corners and 2 down here in the 4th.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Melky Cabrera at 3rd. Chisenhall down at 1st, held loosely there by Abreu. And it's inside, 1-1. Nothing Cleveland, their first hit of the game, resulting in the only run of the contest so far. And it just kind of figures, as we pointed out. Haven't seen any hard contact, and it's a broken bat blooper.
Yeah, hit the changeup. Still now, as a hitter, try and keep your patience up there. But yeah, I guess he's tough to lock into in a zone, because he's never in the same zone twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
he's effectively wild.
And more balls than strikes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he has more walks and strikeouts.
The 2-1. Ripped down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner. Scoring is Melky Cabrera. Lonnie Chisenhall into 3rd. They're going to wave him home. He's going to score. And it's a 2-out, 2-run double for Jan Gomes. It makes it 3-0 Cleveland.
2-out lightning right now. Beautiful. And Gomes put a nice swing on that ball. 2-1 count. Looked for the fastball. He got the fastball and smoked it down into the corner. So everybody off and running with 2 outs.
Now that baby was barrel. That was the hardest hit ball they've had.
Yes, it was. But he had to throw a strike there. It's 2-1. After the 2 outs, he walked 2 guys, and it come back to bite him. So they have got 3 on the board now with back-to-back hits.
And now Eric Gonzalez, the batter. He walked his only time up. They say perception is reality. And my perception of Eric Gonzalez, Rick, is of a guy who he looks like he doesn't have a care in the world. You wouldn't know if there was any pressure on him whatsoever. He just goes up there and he swings the bat with authority, with a confidence. You wouldn't know that this is a guy who is chomping at the bit constantly to get in the lineup. He probably shows up early every day, looks at the lineup card, hoping his name's going to be in one of those top 9 spots, only to be disappointed and have to go sit on the bench. But man, when he has gotten his opportunities, he looks like he's a 10-year veteran up there.
He's done a beautiful job, and you know what? That's a great way to play the game if you can do it that way. But you know, I mean, sometimes you can get overexposed when you're playing all the time. He's not going to break in. He's not going to be an everyday player when you're an infielder on this team, because he came down to the 25th man on this team. So
yeah.
He's doing exactly what he has to do. Bide your time. When you get an opportunity, do the best you can, and he's been very successful at it to this point. And you can see him getting more and more confidence, which will get him more and more at bats. He's one of the, I think, 3 guys that have played every infield position this year. He started third, short, second, and first. Only a couple guys can claim that. Marwin Gonzalez, Nico Goodrum, and Kiki Hernandez with the Dodgers. So that's it. Play all 4 infield positions. He's done it.
Lays off a tough pitch there, full count. You saw the numbers there. Again, limited opportunities, but he's done well in the clutch in these 2-out RBI situations. And I think a lot of it just comes down to some guys are able to just take a deep breath and go play. The rest of us are up there gripping that bat so tight.
Yeah.
3-2 offering. Jammed him, rolls it to short. Tim Anderson throws him out. That'll end the inning. Boy, do the Indians take advantage of some 2-out generosity. 2 walks, 2 RBI hits, 3-0 Cleveland. Haven't seen many hard hit balls all night. Lonnie Chisenhall gets the first run of the game home on a ball that came off the bat at
67.
barely over the speed limit.
Yeah, exactly. But there's more than one way to drive in a run, and then Gomes.
He got the Ferrari.
Yes, he did. Hardest hit ball of the night, 103.
Lonnie's driving a pickup truck.
Yeah, but he's got an RBI.
It doesn't matter,
but
right?
Gomes gets
Exactly.
2 because he hit his twice as hard.
Daniel Palco will lead off for Chicago here in the bottom of the 4th. Drill deep and foul. I don't think it had enough distance anyway. Palco may have hit that one off the end. It just kind of died when it went down the line as a hook foul. The 1-1. Down the line, that's going to go foul in the corner. You know, we talked about how Giolito has thrown more balls than strikes. Carlos Carrasco has had to fight tooth and nail with these White Sox hitters. They put up quality at bats, but look at how he's 2-to-1 strikes to balls, 41 strikes, just 21 balls.
And that's what Carlos usually does. He's a strike throwing machine. He's usually 67 to 70% per ball game when he's on a good night. You know, he doesn't walk many, and he can strike out a lot. But he's got very good control.
And there's that wicked changeup. He struck him out with that in the first inning. Now he's got 7 strikeouts on the night. Great clip of the game from yesterday.
Speaking of control,
Corey Kluber carving him up in Detroit.
He just goes up there and their catcher Hicks yesterday, I saw somewhere he said this guy is like throwing wiffle balls. And I mean, he said if it starts on the plate, don't swing because it's going to be a ball. If it starts off the plate, swing because it's going to be a strike. He has so much movement on his pitches.
Kluber went 8 innings yesterday, struck out 8. Seems like a lot, but he was just so efficient. He only used 105 pitches to get through 8 innings of work. And now 26 straight starts, 3 runs or less. That was a good pitch, but called a ball, 1-1.
Well, he looked like he stared in there a little extra time to let him know. He wanted to know where it was.
That breaking ball dips low, 2-1. Tried to hold up, but Davidson went around, and that evens the count. And that's where, as a hitter, you probably want to take the bat and just hit yourself over the head. You got the count in your favor. If you're going to swing, you want to make it count, and you end up caught in between like that.
Yeah, but then that nasty slider comes out, and you're thinking, there it is. No, it's not.
Oh, that's good. I've got it. I'm going to hit it. Oh, no, it's gone.
No, I'm not. What am I doing?
Already committed. Can't
Yes.
stop.
You think you got it, but it's just that split second.
The 2-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out again. 8 Ks for Carrasco. And I think 6 of the 8 have been swinging.
Yeah, and you just watch. There's a good fastball. I'm not sure if that was a changeup or not, but there's the curveball. There's a slider. I mean, it's just one after another. Another fastball, changeup. Boy, I'll tell you, it's just. He has a lot of weapons he can attack a hitter with.
The only man to get a hit is this guy, Kevin Smith, who's seeing the ball well. He has 8 hits and 17 at bats. He got called up and says, I do not want to go back to AAA. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Charlie Tilson. Well, I don't count that one. That was just a little infield hit. Right field, back goes Lonnie. He makes the catch on the track. And the White Sox go, my rules. 1, 2, 3. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorrento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit ClickChevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Chicago, Illinois. And here on a foggy, gray, and cool Monday evening, the Indians have a 3-0 lead as we start the 5th inning. Greg Allen leads it off 0 for 2. Checked on a ball inside, he did not go. Squibbed off the end of the bat to third. Yomar Sanchez throws him out, 1 down. Tune in to the Tribe Report tomorrow night after Indians Live, brought to you by GMC. Pitching coach Carl Willis talks about the starting rotation. Former Browns offensive lineman Joe Thomas shares his draft memories and the Tribe's plays of the week tomorrow with Alan Jensen following the ball game. Michael Brantley 0 for 2.
Well, here's one right here. That good curveball on the inside, that caught the plate. But it was called a ball.
How much of that do you think is, do you think hitter reputation still matters in baseball for umpires?
It could, yes. I think I've seen it a few times this year, yes. Where you think the good hitter gets the call. And
never mind. Crushed. Deep right field. Gone to Souvenir City. And Michael Brantley has his 11th home run of the year. And that's his 40th run batted in now as the Indians go up 4-0.
Michael, he had himself a 2-1 fastball. That's the same pitch that Jan Gomes hit. 2-1 heater. Michael.
Woo. Fastball, and he was waiting on it.
Number 11.
And with that home run by Brantley, giving him 40 RBIs, the Indians are the first team to have 3 hitters with 10 or more homers and 40 or more runs batted in. Brantley, Jose Ramirez, and Edwin Encarnacion. And Lindor's not far behind, neither is Alonso. I mean, they're sitting at 35 and 36 runs batted in, respectively. Dr. Smooth, what a year he's having. Ooh. Oh, man, knocked it down.
Well, this is, you make them get out of their toe hole. You can see that's up, little chin music. As old Mudcat Grant used to say.
Oh, Ramirez fooled. Rarely do you see him fooled by a pitch. Giolito had his number that time. 2 down.
Well, Michael gets a fastball here on the inner part of the plate. He gets the barrel to the baseball. And that ball shot off his bat. It was down the right field line. A lot of times those balls will hook. It did not. 105 coming off the bat. And that's a good distance going straight down the line. 393 feet.
There were a lot of people who wondered, what would the Indians do? How would they replace the offense lost in free agency with Santana departing, Jay Bruce going to the Mets, the return of Michael Brantley, and the addition of Yonder Alonso? They have really done a tremendous job. Lindor 0 for 2 on the night. Here's something you don't see very often. The Red Sox and Orioles are scoreless through 9 innings.
I was watching that game. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me?
Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, was pitching, started that game for Boston. And I think it was Dylan Bundy starting for Baltimore.
It was for Baltimore. Yes, it was.
There have only been 7 hits total in the game, 4 for Baltimore, 3 for Boston. So a scoreless duel into the 10th at Camden Yards, of all places. 3-1. Lindor lifts a high fly ball to left field, but Tilson makes the catch, and the inning is over. Michael Brantley extends the Indians' lead with his 11th home run of the season. It's 4-0 Cleveland.
See when the Indians take on the Minnesota Twins. That'll take place on Saturday. Get to the game early. Enjoy a pregame out in the district. Just go to Indians.com to get your tickets.
Bottom of the 5th, Tim Anderson 0 for 1 with a strikeout. To third, Ramirez with another nifty play. Throws him out. 1 down. We're right back here tomorrow night, game 2 of this 4-game series. Adam Pletko back from the minor leagues to get the start against James Shields. Quite a contrast in career arcs in that ball game. Indians Live starts our coverage at 7:30. First pitch just after 8 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. There are a lot of folks here in Chicago who wonder, now you look at the numbers and you think there's no way that could happen, but they wonder if a team maybe has an injury, might come calling for James Shields around the trading deadline. This is the last year of his contract, and obviously he has not panned out for what maybe they thought they were going to get from him.
That's right after he left Kansas City. Didn't San Diego sign him?
Right. They got him the big deal. One down for Charlie Tilson, who, yes, did officially get a hit his last time up.
Not this time.
Gonzalez cuts it off, makes a good strong throw, 2 down.
That went too hard. Gonzalez had time to get there and get his body turned.
Adam Engel called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. Fly ball, right field, pretty well hit. Back is Lonnie Chisenhall at the wall. He makes the catch and hangs on, and then flips the ball to some fans on the other side of the fence. He's got some Tribe fans rooting for him back there in deep right field.
White Sox fans, there's nothing like being in a big game. The excitement.
Military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
6th inning. Cleveland 4, Chicago nothing. Yonder Alonso, Melky Cabrera, and Lonnie Chisenhall due up for the Indians. Yonder goes the other way, and a base hit to left.
And a good swing going that way in Detroit for a double to deep left center. That's a nice swing. They had 3 guys over, a ball elevated up and out over the plate, and he is able to stay on. It's elevated, so that makes it that much easier to take that ball the other way. It's only their 4th hit. And out comes the manager, Rick Renteria, going to make the move.
Yonder Alonso spraying him around. Most of his hits up the middle and to the other side, but 21 to the pull side as well. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Rick Renneria has summoned left-hander Xavier Cedeno. He'll be coming on when we come back. Well, Lucas Giolito, the frustrations have to continue to mount for Chicago. He threw 93 pitches tonight. He threw more balls than strikes. Well, but other than one 4-batter stretch where it kind of went sideways on him, he really pitched pretty good.
You know, they have, the 2-out walks and the hits that we showed you, the little blue pit by Chisenhall driving the first run, and then Gomes got him for a 3-run 4th inning. They've got a good pitching coach in Don Cooper, and he's really had some good pitchers over here in his tenure. He's, I'm sure, working with him diligently to try and get him straightened down. And this is where you have to remain patient when you have a young team and a rebuilding team like the White Sox have right now. They've made the commitment. Now the patience comes into play. Now, as a coach, as a manager, you have to remain patient with your guys. There's Coop right there. Hey, he's had some great ones here as far as pitchers go.
I think to your point earlier, though, there has to be some unique challenges when you've got a guy 6'6" mechanically to keep that all in sync at all times.
On every pitch.
And maybe that's why you have these bouts of where he walks a couple in a row.
It is, yes. Repeating your delivery is very difficult for bigger guys. Much more so.
Xavier Cedeno on in relief. With Melky Cabrera at the plate, he's walked twice and scored a run. Last 10 games, the White Sox bullpen has been very good. Their ERA is just 2.08 during that time.
Yeah, they've been outstanding. Their bullpen. They've gone over 15 innings without allowing a run.
Cedeno just made his White Sox debut a few days ago. He was at AAA Charlotte.
Yeah, 15 2/3 innings, consecutive scoreless, going back to June 5th against Minnesota. So they pitched well.
Again, it's in the dirt. He's really testing Melky Cabrera's patience.
Cedeno, he was down in AAA Charlotte. He was called up and made his White Sox debut June 7th, so he hasn't been here very long. Pitched in 20 games down in Charlotte. Got a 1.25 ERA.
missed way outside. Full count. White Sox play Cabrera as a dead pull hitter. They don't have a shift on in the infield, but everybody's swung around toward the left. And the 3-2 is fouled away.
Bounced up, jumped, and hit him in the ribs.
Rib shot, huh?
Yeah. Counter punch.
The flak jacket out.
Cabrera's hit safely in the last 5 games. He's been on twice tonight, both with walks. Watch him come down and bite him. Boom, right inside. Ouch. Pretty soon we're going to have hitters hitting in protective armor. They'll go up in a night suit.
He held on, struck him out. 1 away. Mid-game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. With 2 out in the 4th, back-to-back walks, then Lonnie bloops 1 in. Drives home the first run of the game. Very next batter, Yan Gomes, scorches it down the left field line. That scored a pair, and it was 3-0. Then in the 5th, with 1 out, bases empty, Michael Brantley. The 11th home run of the year, and it's 4-0 Cleveland now in the 6th. Chicago's other team, the Cubs, in a first-place showdown series in Milwaukee. Chicago Cubs began the day a half game back of the Brewers, but Milwaukee leads at 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Couple of home runs. Jonathan Villar and Eric Kratz have gone deep for Milwaukee now.
And they're facing former White Sox Jose Quintana.
Lonnie wraps this one right center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Alonso around second, on his way to third. The ball hopped over the fence, and it will be a double for Lonnie. Second and third, 1 out. Boy, he's swinging the bat well. So for Lonnie Chisenhall, that's now 8 hits in 6 games since coming off the DL.
Yeah, he smokes this ball. He got a little swinging room that was down. It was a slider. And, you know, he likes that off-speed pitch. You keep it in the zone and you keep it down, he can hit it.
Yan Gomes, a 2-run double in the 4th. We just showed it to you a moment ago. Ripped it down the left field line. This time, Chicago bringing the infield in, figuring down 4. It's do or die time for them. Slow chopper to short, and Anderson able to look the runner back, throw him out. 1 down. Excuse me, 2 down. That's where that patience just kind of went away, and you can see Gomes is very frustrated with himself.
I mean, that's what happens sometimes with Yan. He gets just too excited to try and get those runs, and you've got to remain patient because he's a very good hitter against left-handed pitching. Even if they get you strike 1, don't worry about it. You still got 2 to go. I mean, he drove in a pair with a hard hit ball with 2 outs off the tough right-hander. Yeah, he's upset with himself there, I believe.
See if Eric Gonzalez can pick him up. And he takes a strike bottom of the zone. Eric walked in the 3rd. Grounded out to end the 4th inning. That the splits matter all that much, but Gonzalez 7 for 21 against lefties on the year. Looks like they want to go inside now. They throw back to second, but Lonnie is there in plenty of time. Nice pick there by Kevin Smith. And a runner third base, you don't want to fall any further behind. You got to make sure you knock everything down.
Absolutely, and that's a big run over there. I mean, you get to 4, you're still in the 6th inning. You want to stay within grand slam, length. Anything over than that, you start getting in trouble.
Ground ball right at the shortstop. Anderson scoops it, throws it, and they got him to end the inning. Midway through the 6th, Cleveland 4, Chicago nothing.
Access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards code is Clubhouse. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
I thought you were going to say the rewards code is bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, bacon burgers. That look like bacon on a stick.
One of the delicacies you can now enjoy at Progressive Field. Top of the order, Yoan Moncada, 0 for 2, has struck out twice against Carrasco. Cookie has set down 10 in a row. Pulls it foul. And gone to the 11th in Baltimore. Still no score between the Red Sox and Orioles. And he's out looking. That's the 3rd time Moncada has struck out tonight.
He's had a tough night against Carrasco, no question. It's number 9. Carlos, it's a fastball. Belt right there. See the movement, 91. Gomes holds the pose, gets the call. Strikeout number 9 and out number 1 here in the 6th.
He just sort of has that hopeless look on his face, doesn't he?
Well, now you say, when you face Carrasco, he's had success against him. Now he may be defeated because he hasn't had a good night at all. He hasn't put one in play.
Yolmer Sanchez was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, then grounded out in the 3rd. He made it as far as 3rd base in the opening frame, but they couldn't get him home.
And they were putting some pretty good at-bats on Carlos earlier because his pitch count was going up. But boy, once he got a couple of runs, he settled in, and then he started, to get in a groove and relax, and that's how starters do it. Good ones.
Remember, I said it's not that he can't get right into a groove here, but boy, those first 2 innings, they were grinding out every at-bat against him.
And then all of a sudden, boom, here you go. Something clicks. He got a couple of runs, and it's like, okay, here we go. Now I'm ready. You know, he's at 84 pitches, and we're in the bottom of the 6th.
Foul back. It's 2-2. Let's take a look at it. Look at the first 2 innings. That 30-pitch second inning.
That's amazing. You know, good for Carlos to come back with an 8 and a 7. You know, in 2 different innings, the 3rd and the 5th.
And the only reason the 4th was more pitches is because he struck a couple of guys out. Foul back. Yeah, those first 2 innings, there were 3 balls put in play against Carrasco. Faced 9 hitters, only 2 guys put the ball in play. No, 3 guys. So think about that. That was 50 pitches. And out of 50 pitches, 3 balls were put in play. They had 5 strikeouts.
They
hit
fouled
batter.
off a number of pitches, though.
Yeah, and that's what drove it up. And how about that? First walk of the night.
Take a look at the changeup here by Carlos Carrasco. That's almost like that split grip where he really has the 3 fingers wrapped around that ball, and look at the movement on it. The down and the spin and the rotation. It's what a pitch. When it starts out low, you're never going to hit it because it's only going to go lower. You got to make that pitch get up. And it looks like the fastball to the hitters. That's why they go out and get after it, but it never gets there.
Now here's Jose Abreu, 0 for 2 on the night. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up foul ground. Abreu gives it a look, Alonso gives it a look. Can't get to it. And Abreu is back to home plate. Let's go back to that first at bat. Hit 138 on that very pitch. And that's why, because there's not a lot you can do with that. You got to pull your hands in so far.
Yeah, he was looking for something out over the plate that he likes to shoot the other way.
Arch, you said something in his at-bat that stood out to me. And this is just a question. We were talking about, you said he was looking like he was looking for an off-speed pitch, not the fastball, because he was trying to go the other way.
Yeah.
Now, is that because Carrasco's, there's not a lot of separation between the slider and the fastball, or is that because Abreu's that good of a hitter?
He's that good of a hitter where he's, you know what, he'll foul off your fastball. You know, if he's sitting for it inside, he'll take his cut and try and turn on it. But I'll tell you what, when he gets runners in scoring position, he wants the RBI. And there's not, and if you want the RBI, you got to stay on it because he knows he's going to get more breaking balls than fastballs, I think, to hit.
Okay, is that because how people pitch to him? Because we always say it's hard to sit on a breaking ball, but you know, you said he was. It makes sense now because usually he's aggressive, right?
I've seen this guy hit our staff on different occasions on going about it. He just sets up hitters or pitchers pretty well.
Wild pitch puts Sanchez in scoring position.
Andre, he's like all good hitters, you know, like a Cabrera or something. They will go the other way. They're not going to get greedy and try to pull everything.
And I'm sure that plays into how they're pitched too, because most people come inside to him as well.
Well, I'm sure every team in the league doesn't want to give in. They're not going to let him hit a home run and let him pull a ball. He doesn't have to. Beat him, beat me the other way.
One-two to left field. Pretty well hit. Brantley back at the wall, makes the catch.
Oh, I thought he got it.
And that chases Sanchez back to second base, 2 down. Michael was just about completely out of real estate. He was up against the wall and made the grab.
Did he go out and hook a slider here? He went down and got a pretty good pitch.
I was thinking maybe he'd throw that changeup.
Look at, he hit
that
the
was
slider.
A slider. Yeah.
And I mean, that wasn't a strike. And he went out to try to hook him that time instead of go the other way. So he took his shot right there and just that's about all you could do with that pitch. That was not a good pitch to drive, but he did.
And with 2 down, Daniel Palka, the batter, 0 for 2 on the night. You don't see a lot of the changeups to right-handed hitters, but we've seen him throw it tonight. I think he struck out Davidson, a right-handed hitter, in the 2nd inning with it.
When he has a good feel for it, man, he'll throw it. He's not afraid to throw it to righties, which is a good pitch.
I thought maybe that's the pitch he would go to against Abreu, but it was in fact that slider. Even though it looked like he was out on his front foot, he sent Michael Brantley all the way to the wall.
Yes, he did. He was. He went out to hook it.
Throw down to second base, and not a good one, but Lindor able to knock it down. Goes from his knees, just couldn't get a lot on that throw.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe a little surprised because I don't think he's going anywhere. He's getting a secondary lead. They have a 4-run lead, and Lindor did a nice job to keep that ball in the infield because you get blocked out by the runner. But, you know, catchers, they have good arms. They like to show it off.
High pop-up on the infield, and Jose Ramirez is under it. Man, he had to circle around, makes the catch, inning over. We've played 6 in Chicago. The Indians 4, the White Sox nothing. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Seventh inning in Chicago. And the third pitcher of the night for the White Sox is left-hander Luis Avilan. They have 3 lefties in their bullpen. 4, I'm sorry, because Hector Santiago is almost like a swing man. He can start, but he's been working out of the bullpen. Swinging a foul back to Greg Allen.
Send along a 65th wedding anniversary to Bill and Britta Bridges from Mount Vernon. Congratulations.
Greg Allen was trying to bunt. And it's 0-2. Greg is 0 for 3 on the night. He's flied out twice, grounded out once. Tied him up. Good pitch. 1 down. Let's pause right now for a message from Circle K.
Polar Pop Cup, just 79 cents every day, only at Circle K.
Michael Brantley will bat with 1 out here in the 7th inning. He homered his last time up. He's at 11 now on the year. He has 40 runs driven in. Against the White Sox, he is 6 for 14 this year with 2 homers and 6 runs scored. You know, when we were talking earlier about Andrew Miller and his situation, as you look at Brantley's home run, it was absolutely mashed back in the 5th inning. Taking your time, getting him A, healthy, and B, back to pitching well, and so he's feeling where he needs to be when he rejoins the bullpen. You can't overlook the fact that as much as this team wants to get on a roll and start playing better, the division you're in gives you sort of the luxury of being able to take your time, maybe more so than otherwise.
I would agree with that. You're not forced to, all right, let's go. We got to get him back. I know one thing, when they get him back, this team has, and if he comes back healthy and he pitches like he's capable, they could take off in a hurry. And I mean, right now we're in the stretch of playing 16 consecutive games in our own division, and that's where the Indians have made their hay this year, is in their own division.
Now the 1-2 on its way to Brantley down low.
Before the game, I asked Tito how hard it is to develop a bullpen, keep a bullpen healthy, and keep everyone happy. And he laughed. He said, well, everyone's not going to be happy, but it plays off what you guys are talking about with Andrew Miller and trying to get him right. He said it's probably the second hardest thing for a manager for him to do. And he was talking about Otero and guys like that had gone a week, and then this weekend, you run into a game where you absolutely need him, and you need him to be good.
Right.
And he said that's just a hard thing you're doing, is he's trying to get a guy like Marshall going, and then you're going to get Miller back in the mix. And he says, and you're really going to use 4 or 5 guys mainly, but you need every guy down there, and that's just a hard thing to run into. So Matt, where you're going off of is probably what they're thinking as well, is maybe you in this run, you get him in there at the right time, and it's not as much pressure maybe as it would be at some other parts of the season.
Yeah, until they get, because Andrew Miller's the best reliever in baseball. He bridges the gap for this ball club. And, you know, they need him back, and then the other guys, it'll start falling into play. They're falling in place. You know, guys are pitching out of their spots.
Pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Ramirez 0 for 3 on the night. You look at the other side of, the Central Division, the White Sox, for example, they're playing 14, starting tonight. 14 of their next 17 games will be right here at home. The exception will be the 3 games they come to Cleveland to play against the Indians. So 7 out of their next 10 are against the Indians exclusively.
Correct.
The Indians are in a long stretch against Central Division opponents. So
yeah, we'll go home and we'll get the teams we just played. We'll get Minnesota, we'll get Chicago, we'll get Detroit.
Bounced in front of the dish. I guess they hadn't looked that far out. Is it a 3-team homestand?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, long homestand.
Yeah, yes, it is. And then the next road trip, we'll see you later. We don't come home to July 4th, so.
Oh yeah, long homestand followed by long road trip.
Right, exactly, because it's been pretty weird schedule this year. But it all evens out. 81 home, 81 road. We're game number, what, 64 tonight.
2-2. Ramirez shoots it.
Job.
Foul down the right side.
Nice job of fouling it off.
Well, I know a lot of fans are somewhat disappointed at the way the Cavaliers season came to an end. You have your hopes that somehow they'll be able to pull it out and win another world championship, but just getting to the finals is a great accomplishment in that. And maybe as the hangover effect starts to diminish, we'll get some bigger crowds, get some fans coming out to watch this edition of the Indians at Progressive Field, especially with great weather. Mentioned long
Are you
homestand.
guaranteeing that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, please.
The best location in the nation, my man.
If you're going out and you're it's all on you, my friend. Matt said it.
It's going to be great. Have the Twins, the White Sox, and the Tigers on the next homestand. The 3-2. Ripped into left field, a base hit for Ramirez.
See what a great at-bat that was, where he was able to foul that tough pitch off to the right side, live for another pitch, and then he gets when he can pull.
All right, here's the way it looks. These 4 games against the White Sox, and then home for 3 against the Twins. These White Sox will be in Cleveland 18th, 19th, and 20th. And then the Tigers over that weekend.
Yes.
Hey, Matt Goddard, I got one question. When do we get the sunshine on this?
Easy.
Yeah.
Tell me about that heat. That sun
See,
you're talking
okay, you heard him say it.
I didn't say anything. I'm not predicting anything for Chicago.
Okay.
I'm saying when we get back home to Shangri-La, it's going to be beautiful.
I'm holding you to it, buddy.
Me too. We better not see the turf once.
I think we're owed some nice weather.
You're never owed. I hope you're right, though.
Lindor 0 for 3 tonight. If Edwin is back in the lineup tomorrow, you can almost be assured that Lindor will make his move back to the leadoff spot.
Yeah, things will go back to normal. Well, we had an opportunity to see him out in the outfield running and testing it before the game today. They give him one more time, and I'm sure he should be ready to go tomorrow. Adam Plutko will be the starting pitcher. Coming off a no-hit performance down in the minor leagues a little while back.
2-1 pitch, runner goes. Ramirez is off. The throw is not in time. So Jose has his 8th stolen base of the year. And a runner in scoring position with 2 down now for Lindor.
He just took off on first movement there. He had to throw it was down in the count 2-1. You figure you got to throw a strike, and just had a great jump, go on first movement.
And 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Our venerable stage manager, Joe Cornejo, tells me that the Wednesday forecast here in Chicago, 77 degrees and mostly sunny skies. So you figure that weather's going to keep making its way east. So
okay,
get home, it'll be beautiful.
Well, Joe, you'll hear from us if it's not.
Don Cooper's on the horn. Joe's worked with some of the best broadcasters in Chicago history. He's worked with Harry Carey. He's worked with Jack Brickhouse. How he got stuck with us is anybody's guess. Got to pay the bills somehow, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Yonder pops one sky high.
Sent to the minors.
Right side of the infield, and Abreu makes the catch. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Stretch time in Chicago. 4-0 Cleveland. of an interesting 7th inning stretch take. They played YMCA by the Village People. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be Matt Davidson, Kevin Smith, Tim Anderson. Indians have action in the bullpen. Lefty Oliver Perez, and I believe Dan Otero.
With Carlos at 97, they're looking and hoping he can go through this inning relatively quickly. And looking for the 29th time an Indian starter can go 7 or more. Able to get Davidson twice, Makata 3 times today, Polka twice.
Now the 0-2. Swung on and missed. And Carlos Carrasco has struck out 10 White Sox hitters on the night.
Another double digit for Carlos. Just watch the movement on his pitches tonight. I mean, you're going to see him go both different directions. You're going to see different speeds. You're going to see different breaks. And it really messes with the hitters. When Carlos gets ahead of you, as he so often does, and then he just teases you with pitches out of the strike zone, and you get swings and misses. That's why he has 10 strikeouts.
3rd time this year he's struck out 10 or more in a game.
Yeah, he's back-to-back. He had 10 in his last start against Milwaukee. And then the time he faced the Milwaukee before, he had 14. So there you go. 13 by an Indian starter this year. Tied for most with the Astros, so the starters have been dynamite. And boy, you know, when you're a young team and you know you're going to face these guys 19 times, you're going to get your share of Kluber, Carrasco,
oh yeah,
you know, Bauer and Clevenger. You're going to get it, boy. It's not going to be an easy task. You better be on your game.
And you know, it's become a storyline for the Indians here of late because of, you know, the issues with the bullpen and not having Andrew Miller and Corey Kluber and Carrasco and Trevor Bauer trying to push themselves and extend themselves a little bit longer into games. And you can't just suddenly say all of a sudden in the middle of the year, okay, now we have to pitch 120 pitches a game, or we have to go at least this many innings. It doesn't work like that. You just sort of build to that point, but these guys are conditioned. They're conditioned to make somewhere between 100 and 120 pitches every time they go out. If you're not in that range, then you might run the risk of extending a guy to a point where he hasn't been, and then the repercussions are how does he bounce back from that. And I know you can't compare, but I thought it was amazing when we ran that feature during the rain delay in Detroit.
Oh, I got you.
Jack Morris,
yes.
They were showing one of the games, and he had just made a pitch, and you could hear Tony Kubek say that was his 160th pitch of the game. 160 pitches.
Yeah.
But they were conditioned to do that. In his era, when you played, the starting pitcher went out there to finish the game. They didn't think about handing it off in the 7th inning after you get to 100 pitches. So they were just conditioned differently than the starting pitchers of today.
That's true. They lowered that pitch count to around the 100 pitch level, and most of it had to do because of injuries and surgeries, and even though they still have them, you protect your investment nowadays. These guys are making a lot of money, and you got to make sure you keep them out there.
And because of that, more monies have now been poured into bullpens, and so there is an investment there.
Sure.
And so those guys are very important. That 7th, 8th, 9th inning.
Well, and now you have 12 and 13-man pitching staffs as compared to 10, and sometimes even 9 and 10 back then. So yeah, it's changed a lot. 160. Get fired.
Long story short, though, these guys are able to extend themselves a little bit because of where they're conditioned right now.
Yes, they're in great condition.
Carlos
There you go.
Carrasco,
There's your 7.
forget about it. 11 strikeouts tonight for Carrasco, as he has held the White Sox scoreless on 2 hits through 7 terrific innings here tonight. Thanks, Al. Here's Melky Cabrera leading off in the 8th inning. Takes a pitch up high, ball 1.
Rondon holds a 1.93 ERA over his last 16 outings.
A little bit high. Melky sends a high fly ball to deep right field. Palka back and makes the catch just shy of the wall for out number 1. Well, Tiger Woods is back and he's ready to take on the greatest golfers in the world at the 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage begins Thursday from Shinnecock Hills on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
What happened here?
Bruce Rondon is.
Well, they got the trainers with him, so there won't be a trip. Did he do something after that pitch? It was a breaking ball that Cabrera hit.
He says he's all right. We'll see what Rick Renneria determines.
Hey, we've seen it before now. One guy may catch a cleat or a spike and do something, and the trainers, they don't miss anything coming out.
Hector Santiago, left-hander up in the bullpen. That may be a just in case Rondon can't go type thing. But
okay, let's just. That was nothing. He was just look at this. Something in his back.
you're right, though. I mean, The trainers, the coaches, they watch like
Yeah,
hawks.
they do, and every team does it, man. If they see one misstep, man, they're out of that dugout and they're going out to the mound just to double check.
It's not injury related in any way, but I remember a story, and I wish I could think of the name of the pitcher. But he said, I'm out there one day, and he said, I'm just getting my lunch handed to me. Line drive after line drive, home run, line drive. He said, finally, the manager comes out as that ball skips by Rondon and hit him. Pitcher says, what took you so long? Haven't you been watching? Well, I guess Rondon's all right. That one, I couldn't tell exactly where it hit him.
He put the glove back there and deflected it. He was going to try for the backhanded grab.
I thought maybe it hit him on the arm, but I guess
no,
it's right on the glove. Huh?
Yeah, watch this. He's going to put it behind him. It may have got him on the arm.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right off the glove.
And then it just ricochets, and Lonnie gets his 3rd hit of the night.
Jan Gomes back in the 4th inning. Broke the 2-run double down the left field line. And that really broke the game open. It was 1-0 on the Lonnie Chisenhall bloop RBI single. And that gave the Tribe a 3-0 lead, and that sailed over the head of Jan Gomes.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball that got away from him. There you go, that slider that, slipped out of my hand.
And he almost hit him again. That was a
That
fastball.
was a fastball.
Yeah. It was a weird game, though, up until that point in the 4th inning when Lonnie got the broken bat bloop hit. The Indians didn't have a hit. That was their first hit of the game.
Right.
Came after back-to-back 2-out walks, set the table. So it's not like the Indians have really done a ton at the plate in this game.
Well, Gomes hit a bullet to his double for 2 RBIs. Brantley's home run was hit hard.
It's also
Chisenhall's double.
It was also a tough game to succeed offensively because of the way Giolito pitched. More balls and strikes. He was sort of all over the place, but he was, as you stated so correctly, effectively wild tonight. And it almost worked. In off the plate again. 3-1.
Sitting in the catbird seat, man. Get yourself a fastball. He had a good swing at the 2-0 fastball. He'll be sitting on it again. Just get it in your area.
Boy, it was bearing in on him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it had movement.
It looked like it did.
Probably looking Fat City, and then all of a sudden.
You know what, though? It was down and in. He's a good low ball hitter, so I don't, get after it. That's his strength if it's down.
Lonnie goes on a 3-2 pitch, and Gomes fouls it back.
Came right back with that same pitch.
See if Lonnie's running again. He is, and it's inside ball 4. So now 2 on, 1 out. Eric Gonzalez coming to the plate. We'll go down to Andre Nunn.
Well, we've talked about Eric Gonzalez and the success that he's had in a short amount of time in his at-bats. And earlier in the year when he wasn't having success in a couple of bats, he's always kind of followed the other guys. And Matt, you talk about how comfortable it is when he seems like he plays. He's not intimidated by anyone. But the one thing that he told me he'd start doing, he would watch Edwin, how Edwin DH'd. When Edwin would get done with it in bat, he'd go in and take his couple swings, look at some video. He said he started doing that even as he wasn't in the lineup, so that does keep him ready whenever he does come into a game. He feels he's had some swings, he's seen the pitches that the pitcher's throwing, and it's helped him so far in the limited time that he's had.
Learning how to get yourself ready at every time. It's one thing you can never do, never be caught short. Always be prepared and ready to go into the ball game. I don't care if it's the first inning or it's the 7th.
Isn't that though true for all of us in life? No matter what you do, you never know when your opportunity is going to come, when they're going to come tap you on the shoulder and say it's your turn, get in there.
Right. Don't be caught short.
Yeah.
Always be. You're better off being over prepared than never ready.
Another T-shirt, Andre. 1-1. Fouled off. Those guys came prepared.
Guy up top, he's ready to ride a bike and go home.
2 on, 1 out. And the 1-2 to Eric Gonzalez. And strike 3 called. I don't know. It looked like it was in off the plate, but he's rung up, 2 down.
That's one thing you can't. That's one thing you can't prepare for. Is a pitch that maybe is off the plate and the umpire, calls it a strike. Can't worry about that. And you go back, and you know what he'll do? He'll go back and look at the video and say that ball was inside, so he won't be upset with himself. He'll go look at it.
Here's Greg Allen. He's had a tough night, 0 for 4. Just 1 for his last 21 at the plate.
Still searching for that first hit with a runner in scoring position. He has another opportunity here.
Out of play. You talk about looking for the silver lining. The White Sox put up on the scoreboard right now that Bruce Rondon struck out the side on 9 pitches in his Cactus League debut on March the 3rd. Strike 3 call. A little delayed reaction there from Paul Nart.
Yeah, it was.
A couple of Ks for Rondon. As Greg Allen has words with the home plate umpire. What took you so long, huh? He was a monster tonight for the White Sox, striking out 11.
He's got those Ks all over the place, backwards, forwards.
2-hit shutout baseball.
I don't know if he's got enough of them on that card, though, but he did a good job.
Now Zach McAllister.
Well, Zach coming up, his last appearance in Detroit were really good. What did he have, 11 pitches, 10 strikes? He's throwing his curveball.
I thought maybe it was the best we've seen his breaking ball.
I totally agree.
And a fastball, strike one to Charlie Tilson.
He looked free and easy. It was nice. You know, he didn't overthrow that breaking ball. He threw it for strikes. He struck out the first guy, and it was McCann, the catcher, on three curveballs.
Down low, 1-1. That fastball gets him ahead on the count, 1-2. Jam job towards short. Lindor, one away. Recapping our storylines, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Carlos Carrasco dominant against Chicago of late. That continues. And Lucas Giolito, and the command issues are for real. 47 balls, 46 strikes tonight. And a pair of 2-out walks were his unraveling in the 4th inning of this game. One down for Adam Engel, who is 0 for 2. And he hit him. Just a breaking ball that I guess just didn't have a lot of break to it.
No, it just stayed right there, and it just nipped him. Look at just off the elbow.
I think that's going to be it. Terry Francona going to the mound to make a pitching change. And so McAllister is out. And I believe that's Oliver Perez, the left-hander, coming in. So we'll be right back with 1-on, 1-out here in the 8th inning. Presented by Sports Time Ohio, and includes your first drink. It's only $15. but you can only get them online at Indians.com/district tickets. So come on down to the ballpark, check out the game from the district, right field, the drink, rails, and left. Always a great time at Progressive Field. Well, it has been Tribe time all night long here in Chicago. Right now, 1-on-1 out. Top of the order, Yoan Moncada, the batter, and Oliver Perez. Now on for the Indians. He's been a welcome addition to the bullpen, making his 5th appearance.
Well, the reason why Tito went to get the left-hander from the right side, he's just a 155 hitter, 265 from the left side. So turn him over. Sanchez, the left-handed hitter on deck. He's a switchy too.
Moncada's just happy to see anybody other than Carlos Carrasco on the mound.
That is true.
Struck him out 3 times. This ball's deflected to Lindor. He'll shovel it to Gonzalez. They still tried to turn 2. Moncada just did beat it out at first. I didn't think Gonzalez would even consider a throw to first. And they almost turned it. 2 down.
It hits the glove of Perez and it deflects right towards Lindor. But I thought they were only going to get one. But you know what? Gonzalez tried to turn it. Made the throw. So they get the second out.
And Yolmer Sanchez to the plate is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the first, walked his last time up. Foul right back. Oliver Perez, his 8th different major league club. He's played with the Mets, the Diamondbacks, the Nationals, the Mariners, Padres, Pirates, Astros, and Indians. He was with the Yankees organization, but not at the big league level when he asked for and was granted his release on June the 1st. The 1-1. The Indians had a similar situation with Matt Delisle, who asked for his release, and that was granted today. A lot of times with these veteran pitchers with experience, they'll agree to go to the minor leagues, but they have some sort of an agreement to say, hey, if I get an opportunity to pitch somewhere else in the big leagues, I just like to have that out clause. And if you've got enough experience, you can use that as leverage to get that.
Sure, you can.
Matt Oliver told me he did that, and that's not what he wanted. You just mentioned all the teams he's been on, but he said he got nervous when he got close to that date. He says, "What happens if that date comes and I ask out, no one wants me?" He said, "I'm at that part of my career now." He said, "Where the phone may not ring." He goes, "I'm pitching for the Yankees. I obviously know what they have in the bullpen and what they're doing." He was nervous that he wasn't going to get a job.
Yeah, it is, I guess, a double-edged sword in that regard. Fly ball to left. Back goes Michael Brantley. Plenty of room. Makes the catch. Inning over. 8 in the books in Chicago. 4-0 Cleveland.
presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Indians up 4-0 as we go to the ninth inning. Fifth pitcher of the night for Chicago is Hector Santiago. Left-hander on to face Michael Brantley, Jose Ramirez, and Francisco Lindor. Third left-hander to work here tonight for Chicago.
Well, he's made 7 starts, and he did have a came in out of the bullpen and had a shutdown inning in Cleveland on May 26th.
By the way, the Red Sox scratched out a pair of runs in the 12th and beat the Orioles 2-0 in 12 innings in Baltimore. So the Orioles have now dropped 5 in a row, 9 of 11.
Boy.
They are 19-46. Whew. The 19 wins, the fewest in all of baseball. 3 fewer than the White Sox and Royals, who are next in line with 22 wins each. Up and in. Now, I suppose to be fair, if you're Baltimore, you have more games against New York and Boston, who've been playing really well this year. So that,
Well, you get Toronto and you get Tampa. Hey, Tampa's held their own too. They I think they won tonight.
big bouncer. Anderson throws out Brantley, 1 down. Seattle and Houston started the night tied atop the AL West. Mariners and Angels playing in Seattle tonight. They're 2-2 in the 4th inning. Houston might be off.
Yes, not everybody is playing tonight on Monday. We've got a 4-game series. We were off 2 days last week.
Yeah, Houston opens up a series in Oakland tomorrow night. Jose Ramirez, rocket deep left center field, and it is caught on the warning track by Charlie Tilson. 2 down.
We've seen some balls go to the warning track to the wall, but you know, other than Michael Brantley's, who pulled his and got it out and hit it and smoked it, I think this chilly air has kept a few balls in, because if this was some warm summertime and humid, balls do carry. This is a pretty good ballpark to hit it.
So you're right. You know, damp. It's 64
Very
degrees
damp
at game time, and just not a real hitter-friendly environment tonight.
Like he said, the marine layer when you get out to the West Coast. I thought we were flying into London last night when we got here.
Ground ball to third. Yomar Sanchez throws out Lindor. Indians go in order. We go to the bottom of the ninth. 4-0 Cleveland. The last of the ninth, our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play the game. Bottom of the fifth, 2 outs. Lonnie Chisenhall goes back, makes the catch up against the wall, notices the Indians fans cheering hard for him, and says, "Here you go, guys. Have a souvenir."
Well, they were saying, you got room, you got room, you got room. Don't worry about it. Make the play, flip it in there. Beautiful. Grady Sizemore jersey that one guy was rocking.
Yeah, we
Nice.
used to, remember during the rain delay, we just showed that old flashback game. What was it, 8 years ago or whatever? It was Grady Sizemore was in that game. We were watching that when we were in Detroit.
Oh, yes.
It was 2011, Merce says, so 7 years ago. Back to modern day action. Jose Abreu lifts it to center field. 1 down. Neil Ramirez. Really throwing the ball well for the Indians. Started the year out at AAA. He was a non-roster invite to spring training. In AAA this year, he was very good. 13 relief outings at a 2.55 ERA, and then got the call up. And he's sort of maybe finding a little bit of a niche right now.
Well, that's good. Continue to go out, throw strikes, get it done. They've been waiting, you know, for someone to step up. We were talking to a scout in Detroit. He saw Ramirez pitch there, and he was shocked. And he said, "Man, he's throwing 93. You know, 90, getting it up there." He said he saw him maybe a couple of years ago, and he said he couldn't believe it. He was down low, but he's got velocity back. He's got a nice breaking ball. Can he be consistent with it is the question.
In off the plate. He swings at a ball in the dirt. Ramirez strikes him out, and there are now 2 down. Arch, I don't know if it's just because the modern day bullpen guys are sort of creatures of habit, but perhaps for a guy like Ramirez, and maybe even in Oliver Perez, now that there seems to be some semblance of role, maybe it helps them settle in. And, you know, these guys just, it's not that they can't pitch if they don't know their quote-unquote role, but it just kind of maybe helps to know, hey, here's where you're going to be used most likely on a regular basis.
Sure it does. It helps.
No, Andre talked about it earlier. Dan Otero went almost a week without pitching. That's tough for a guy in the bullpen because you kind of get out of your rhythm.
Bullpens can be fragile. When you're missing the biggest piece in that bullpen, it's certainly going to put everybody else out of sorts. But hey, you got to get it worked together. They're going to work at it. They're going to find a way. They will work it out.
Now the 1-1.
You know, and along with that comes, you know, everything happened at once and it snowballed on them. Now confidence level comes back into play, and you got to succeed to have you get your confidence back a little bit.
And a foul right back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Indians trying to the finishing touches on a series opening win here in Chicago.
A good way to start it with a shutout. Up 5 this year, looking for number 6.
He went too far, I do believe. They appeal. He did. The game is over. The Indians blank the White Sox by a final score of 4-0. The Indians go to a season high now. 6 games over 500 at 35-29. They've won 11 of their last 15. White Sox fall to 22 and 42 on the season. Winning pitcher Carlos Carrasco, he is now 8-4. The loss to Lucas Giolito, he is now 4-7 on the season. Well, this was just a well-pitched game by Carlos Carrasco. The offense did just enough to beat Lucas Giolito.
Think about Carrasco, 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. He was struggling. He didn't have his command, but boy, he locked in. They got him a couple of runs in that 4th inning, and then everything else just fell into place. He went another 7 innings. He had 10 strikeouts for the 2nd consecutive game, the 3rd time